But the draft is definitely very different. Over in Europe, it's actually different in almost every region that you watch. I feel like this is one of the seasons that all of the regions have a different read on what's good and what's not, so metas are going to really collide when we finally move to MSI in the middle of the year, but that is still a long ways to go. As Kingzone have another game to win if they want to get a 2-0, and DAMWON need to win this to tie it all up.
DAMWON now responding with a LeBlanc ban here after Kingzone open with the Zoe. Now, Ezreal has to be a high priority ban. Maybe DAMWON actually just going to go with the Lucian and Ezreal to follow up this LeBlanc ban, as I've said many times, usually the red team is the one that has to attack the meta, whereas blue generally gets the luxury of being able to attack the enemy team. But now Yasuo being banned away by Kingzone, Jace targeted by DAMWON.
Very interesting that Kingzone bans the champion that they had in the mid lane, and DAMWON bans the champion that they had in the mid lane. But of course, Pawn is a phenomenal LeBlanc player, and it's one of the champions that he can almost consistently perform on.
The Jace being banned away is so surprising to me, especially because red team has access to counterpick, and as long as Yorick doesn't meet a ban,
like you can flex Jace into the mid lane, and then Pawn's a fantastic Jace player as well. So either you can then just pick a Fiora or a Jax into that Yorick if you want to. Lissandra going to be banned away, and yeah, you're exactly right. Ezreal's up, but Kallista's up. We've got a whole lot of things, and Kallista has been the priority 180 carry and will be snapped up here from Kingzone. And in the first round, you can get one off your choice in Alistar, Thresh, Galio. You can even go the Gragas again if you want to. So there is none of them on the ban list, which is why this is an even juicier first pick than you otherwise would have expected.
Ryze being picked so early is very questionable. It's a very focused champion that drives your draft in a specific direction, unless it's answering.
I think it's also more dangerous to pick here because I don't necessarily see Flame as the Ryze player from the top lane. Noguri certainly is terrifying on the Ryze pick, but Flame of course can play it, and he's been around the league for a very long time, as has Ryze. So certainly no doubts there, but he's not the same style of player as what Noguri brings to DAMWON Gaming. And the surprising thing is, absolutely no subs to come in, moving into game number 2 for DAMWON. So Cuz, gonna lock away the Rek'Sai in response to the Lee Sin. And now Kingzone, I just want you to pick the Galio, guys. Just find the G section.
Let's see. Well, I mean, DAMWON Gaming only has 2 bans available to them, and there's 3 supports that can easily be coupled with the Kalista. Yorick, though, being picked this early. Wonder if we see Jax. Probably not. It doesn't seem like Korea actually likes, or at least not in the LCK. They don't seem to like the Jax as an answer to the Yorick. Instead, we get ideas like this, which is Aatrox into the Yorick, just so that he can get clapped at 2.5 items and then do nothing.
Oh my god, this is...
Take over, Atlas. Take the wheel.
Oh god. I feel like now is the time to tell you that, you know, that power nap you took between games, yeah, you're still asleep, don't worry. This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare, LS. You'll wake up soon. You'll wake up soon and everything will be okay. Everything will be okay.
It just doesn't make any sense. There are 2 champions that still exist that can just answer the Yorick in all stages of the game.
Flex support Lee Sin, don't worry. That's going to be Canyon on the jungle Aatrox, and we're going to throw everyone through a loop. There we go.
All right.
That's how we're going to do it.
We're going to throw it all the way back. We're going to get a mid Lee Sin. I think it was Froggen that played that at once upon a time.
He did, yeah, yeah. The Ignite mid Lee Sin was actually really fun. I was watching him on stream when he was practicing it, and I had a lot of fun watching. Thresh going to be banned away here, but that's only one of the bans, and now Alistar or Galio will be available for Tucson if he wants it. I feel like when it comes to flobbing a draft, DAMWON are well and truly on their way to doing the best job of it.
A champion that isn't really that popular in the LCK right now, but is perfect for Kingzone, especially given the Ryze and the Aatrox is Orianna right now.
I was going to get in there first and suggest the Karthus, but
nope.
You were being serious.
I was indeed being serious. Varus and Thomas banned away now. Lucian still on the table. Braum picked initially, maybe just wanting to see what the final components of the Kingzone draft is before deciding on the Lucian. But if DAMWON picked the Lucian, all of their champions are super, super, super short range. And their entire team composition is all in. their item spikes come on at different timings, which makes it very wonky for early mid-transitional teamfights.
Oh, wow.
And,
okay, too soon.
Okay. Well, Rakan locked in now for Kingzone. If Kingzone just gets a long-range mage or even Orianna, it's perfectly fine against this DAMWON team comp.
Oh, they could take Cassin. Oh my god.
You're gonna be all AD.
That is a lot of attack damage.
What are you doing?
Pawn really likes Zed though.
Okay.
But that's
Whoa!
a Never
Perfect.
mind. All right.
There we go. I think I woke
So we
up.
we have you woke up. Just keep your eyes on the left-hand side of the screen. Left-hand side of the screen only,
right.
please. We
All
have
right.
3 monitors, ladies and gentlemen, so it's going to actually be really hard, but you just don't look at this draft. This is an obvious one. 80 carry position. Lucian certainly available, but they're going to lock in the Tristana. Tristana versus the Kalista,
Okay.
you can understand that matchup.
Okay, they salvaged it a little bit. A little bit of faith restored Alice on the right-hand side. The Tristana does have the late-game scaling. Lee Sin looking like me right now as we conducted this draft phase. But the Tristana comes in, offers a little bit of an insurance policy. And I think the only 2 long-range ADCs that you were going to get that from would have been Jinx and Tristana. And so they found it there, down in the bottom lane. But still, they're going to have their work cut out for them. The mid and top lane both still have to get ahead. Because if the Aatrox falls behind, Yorick, he's going to be like the iceberg that sunk the Titanic, except it's moving.
Aha.
He's going to go straight for the bottom inhibitor. Aatrox is not going to be able to do anything to stop him.
Well, we'll see whether Aatrox is going to be able to move faster than a very, very large boat, because that's what they're going to have to need. Because this is looking really, really dangerous. Top side of the map is looking very, very strong. I like the bottom side for DAMWON Gaming, but will it be enough to actually pull them out from this one? The Vel'Koz is a very curious pick. See how Pawn is going to do on it in the mid lane, but adds a lot of extra range and also adds a lot of extra no-go zone to DAMWON Gaming and allows Def to just dance around these fights, gives Tucson all of that availability. And remember, this was the Kalista dream, was the Rakan Kalista, when Rakan was a lot stronger, of course. That is noteworthy, but Rakan's still able to utilize it so well. We saw Tucson almost get an MVP performance. His Gragas buddy was a little bit too strong, and this is going to be your DAMWON Gaming roster. Scary that Aatrox is still going to be the priority here from Flame, but we'll see whether he can make us a believer as we move into game number 2. Kingzone 1-0 in this series, wanting to close it out, meaning 4-0 against DAMWON. Can they do it? Let's find out now. We are certainly on the DAMWON side, as in my ears, it was certainly ringing true as this very full LOL Park waits to see whether DAMWON will actually fight back against Kingzone DragonX. This is Kingzone's last test, really. Until Griffin, at the very end of the season, they have 4 games in a row. Jin'e, Genji, KT, and Afrika back-to-back. DAMWON, the only one standing in their way before what feels like a pretty easy road towards playoffs.
Well, here we go. As Pawn, Glacial Augment on the Vel'Koz makes it very easy to land the combos.
Also gives you Azonias a whole lot of times once you pick that one up. So that's a bit of fun.
We'll have to see how everything else is going to transpire in this game. Heavy focus on the top side of the map. Canyon needs to get stuff moving for Flame and Showmaker. Screw the insurance policy inside of the Tristana. That doesn't matter if they can't make it to the mid game with a slight advantage that'll allow them to stabilize, because the Vel'Koz and the Yorick will just run amok all over them. Infernal Drake coming up first is also bad news bears for DAMWON Gaming, because it's unlikely that Showmaker and Nuclear are going to be able to have any sort of priority in these lanes. And that's not a dragon that you just want to give away.
No, that's actually a really low roll, as Canyon might actually be able to do something here, as Kuz is going to get hit by the Sonic Wave. Resonating Strike to follow there. Good knock up from Kuz as well, who can get a bunch of health back with the flash, but Showmaker has priority. The trade of flashes is pretty good here for Kingzone, to be honest.
Oh.
And Kuz is even able to get away.
And Showmaker falls really far behind from this. I think this is something that a lot of people don't get in mid lane, but if you play solo queue enough, you might experience this. You go to help out your jungler, you miss a few minions at the early levels, and it really affects the level 3 and the level 4 timings, which leaves you so susceptible to trades. And just take a look at this right here. Showmaker, yes, the first 3 melee minions of the cannon wave doesn't hit level 3. That can be really tragic because it's hard to get access to the spellcaster minions. And then at level 4, it can get even more awkward.
And then level 6 is a gigantic problem as well because you can get comboed out by the Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz also able to capitalize on that very, very well because when you got a combo mage like this, it is how it works. Is Cuz looking for the knock-up. Umbral Dash isn't going to do it. The Infernal Chains are there, but it's not going to really do much. Cuz gets on back, but Flame holds on to his flash and will be okay in this lane.
And it's a really nice prank. I mean, there was a massive minion wave in front of Rascal, and he's pranking him again.
That feels real bad.
It feels super bad. He's missing so many minions, getting zoned out of so much XP and gold, and he lost so much HP, it really stunts just how long he's able to stay in this lane.
Yeah. Pawn just doing some geometry here in the mid lane, having a decent time as Canyon is once again going to be on the prowl. Kingzone are wise to it. They're not going to approach this lane at all, understanding where the Lee Sin is most likely going to be. Cuz going to be taking his Gromp camp. Should just be able to power through this jungle relatively effectively. Currently even at 4 camps apiece on both sides of the jungle. Deft landing some pierces. Otherwise going to be okay. That's the flash in from Hoyt though. They are underneath this turret as Deft gets himself to relative safety, but that's going to be first blood. Going over to Tucson, 2 kills are going to come forward, and one of them goes to the Callista. A disaster for DAMWON Gaming.
And this is not what DAMWON wants to have happening this early on. Nuclear is going to be able to stay around a little bit longer. He does have a level advantage over Deft. But definitely things are...
That's 2 for 1 in favor of Kingzone in a 2v3 scenario where they actually have the summoner spell advantage afterwards as well. Tucson holds on to his flash after all that. Oh my goodness, what a disaster for DAMWON Gaming.
Take another quick look at this right now. Canyon a little bit slow on all of this. He doesn't get in on the action until the very, very end. And then Canyon just ends up getting locked up as well. Not really something I would expect.
Look at that smug alpaca face. So smug. As Rascal does command his ghouls, and that's the baby cage. Flame's only level 4, no world ender for you, and has to use the flash in the 1v1. Look at all his ghoulies. Aren't they adorable?
They're still hitting.
I love them with that skin. Aren't they cute? They're so... Oh, they're all dead. But they are very cute.
I don't know, there's something about the way you said that.
You actually exploded a little bit.
I don't know what it just
My LS broke. Can I have a replacement?
I don't know what just went through my head. They're all dead.
They were though. It was a bit sad. That's what happens in this game. Lots of stuff dies.
Alright.
Well, to add insult to injury, and it doesn't really need to be added here for DAMWON Gaming, as a dive is potentially happening here. No vision available just yet, but there's a control ward down there. Canyon in position. Cuz wants to make his way in. That's the double knock-up. And Kingzone decided they want to get out of there. Tucson, that flash that he kept from earlier, is going to be available. They bait out the teleport. And they just get the Yorick even more of an advantage top lane.
This is going to be Yorick running a show in about 10 minutes from now. The Aatrox not really going to be able to approach him. Aatrox trying to get back up into top lane. Going to be surprised if Yorick doesn't manage to convert into a plate here, maybe.
That was actually a double teleport as well. Even worse for DAMWON.
That's cool. So has his teleport available, so Nuclear and Hoyt definitely have to be careful.
Yep, Battle Dance is going to mean that Deft actually takes no damage from that explosive charge either, so the rocket jump comes in. Absolutely no joy, and Kingzone are just running DAMWON around the map. The amount of coordination you need for that kind of group disengage after they'd already used a bunch of spells to try and dive and got a double knock-up is just incredible. Like,
I don't know what DAMWON's thinking right now.
Well, they're thinking that this Kingzone is not the one that faced SKT.
Yeah.
They're thinking that they found a different Kingzone and they want that one back.
Yeah. Kingzone definitely looking very clean here. Even more so than in game number 1.
Yeah, and remember, game number 1, DAMWON actually found themselves some pretty good fights. Canyon's going to come over and steal away a red buff. That's certainly a good news story. But still, Cuz, he's just going on hard farm mode, right? He's getting himself around this map as much as possible. He's going to find that his red is missing as Showmaker gets comboed out.
Showmaker has to be really careful right now. He's about to be in lethal range. One more full combo could spell the end of him if he manages to lose about 100 more HP.
No, that's going to be the knockup. Does he have anything available? He's not actually downloaded, but Pawn doesn't care. Just going to pick up the kill on the Blind Monk and then wander back to the lane. Thanks for my red buff.
And this is really awful because combined with the Glacial Augment, it just provides such nice poke for Pawn there now in the mid lane as Cuz and Tushen looking to push out Nuclear and Hoyt. Would be very surprised if they don't convert this into an Infernal Drake capture. Showmaker extremely low on HP. Julia and Rascal.
They're on a date at the Krug camp. Isn't it cute?
I always did want to go rock climbing.
We could. There's actually some great places.
In Hongdae.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's where I live.
I've heard of
so.
I live in Incheon. It took me 2 hours to get here today because of the protest.
I know. That's why I don't get too mad at you for not coming out and hanging out, you know? Because I know it's just really, really far.
My days are very long, Atlas. Very, very long. Taxi rides are long, too.
We appreciate that you make the arduous journey to be with us on the weekend. But thankfully, you get to come and see games like Cuz's Gragas doing the most damage from the jungle, which is exciting.
What makes me extremely excited. Now, Canyon trying to do the Infernal Drake right here. Going to be spotted out by Tushen, told to get out.
Look at Tushen just wandering around the river. Hoyt's going to turn up, and the Santa Claus skin is looking relevant in the wrong way for DAMWON. Feels like he's given presents over to King Zone. Rather than DAMWON at this stage, that dive certainly went awry. It was Nuclear that got the kill, so that is important to note. That's good news.
Julia. No!
Just call it back, Rascal! Julia's going to be okay.
All right.
250 health. She's all right. She's all right. Take care of your girl, though, Rascal. Come on.
Just letting her go out anywhere nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
Canyon finding himself in a troubled spot right here. Download complete for the Vel'Koz.
That is just a special delivery of the kill. Oh, you can see Acorn's looking real intense there in the coach's booth. They know that DAMWON are still in this game, even if things look very good for King Zone. Pawn's having a great time here in this mid lane, though. I mean, as far as Vel'Koz lane's concerned, often it's about sort of playing around things until you can get to a point where you can stand behind your team. But in the laning phase, not quite that situation. It's tectonic disruption. Not going to knock up Showmaker on the rise. The ability is difficult to say, guys.
I would be very surprised if DAMWON would handshake a Dragon fight right now, knowing that their top laner is down teleport, and Yorick is absolutely massive. He's a unit up there in top lane right now. He's only had 14 CS, but there's a wave that is inside of him.
So we'll have the Sheen now available, so the trades are going to look even better as Nuclear picks up a whole bunch of Ren stacks, and Depth's going to pull them out very quickly. King Zone move over. They are going to be able to grab this Dragon unless Canyon can do something about it. It's going to take some funny business as Pawn will deliver this one over, but Cuz has got a pretty good smite finger these days. He's going to lock down the Infernal Drake. That's a pretty good one as Tucson wants to start this fight. Hoyt's just out of position. The sticks are going to be pulled out. Deft is going to be out. Oh, no. In fact, it's a Prey Seeker from Cuz that gets it. No, it wasn't. It was something else. Never mind. Well, he's the one that gets the kill. Showmaker now might be routed. As Cuz moves on over, spots this ward. Going to be distracted for a moment, but the geometry is going to ring true.
Oh,
that's the ultimate download complete. A lot of damage in there as Cuz has the ult. That one doesn't miss anymore, guys. And that's another kill for this jungle mid duo that are looking so much better today.
And everything is just going really well here for King Zone in game number 2. They have the Infernal Drake. They're rolling like gods as well, as another Infernal Drake is coming up, and they're definitely going to be in the driver's seat for that one. Yorick continues to just keep stealing these Krugs away from Canyon up in top, and I think that we're about to have a 2-level lead in the jungle as well.
Well, that's actually what's happening here. I feel like Cuz is getting more of an advantage because of all of these steals. As Hoyt, I don't know what he was doing, waiting for the stand behind me on Canyon, but just waited way too long. That might have been miscommunication. Canyon not quite getting there on time. Picture in picture. You can see a fight on the bottom side of the map. It's a good knock-up, but the heal does come in. Showmaker there in the mid lane is going to go down once again because this is a replay. Bottom lane, things are going to be fine.
bottom lane crisis was definitely averted.
Okay.
I can get it.
And he definitely did get it, guys. Maybe he was a bit perplexed as to whether or not the ultimate was going to be the old one or the new one. Don't worry, we're on 9.4. That's a pretty good ultimate these days. Cuz just wants to go on a date with Shelly. It's not going to go so well. Only one of them is going to come out alive. Should be able to get this one. And it's just so comfortable for Kingzone at this point in time. 2,000 gold is the lead, but they're moving into a mid-game where things are just going to get better and better. If they play around where this Vel'Koz is, Deft is going to be dancing in, and we know that Tucson is just the god of finding the right engages. Cuz can then follow up. They've got that knock-up party that we saw before. And now Infernal Chains is not going to worry Rascal at all. The baby cage comes in. Shelly's going to be unleashed and should be able to get some turret plates here on the top side. Bottom side of the map is going to get answered, and not a lot that Deft and Tucson can do. So really nicely done, utilizing the push power of this Tristana. The dive onto Flame, he will die, but can he get anything in response? World Ender is of course there, but he has to move away from the turret now. Ultimate once again comes out, the flash to follow, and Cuz locks down the kill in the end. Rascal wasn't even bothered with it, as Pawn's destroying mid lane as well.
Yeah, I have no idea what Flame was just thinking. I mean, so for people watching, what Flame is thinking is that, oh, I'm going to make sure that our team gets first turret. I don't think that he quite realized that the gold is more valuable to get him on a kill and an assist than the difference between the first turret and the top turret. And now they're going to get the next turret as well, so...
Oh man, talk about burn your house
Talk about
down.
philanthropy.
I know, but talk about burn your house down. We've got Julia and Shelly, both of them together, and that tower lasted all of 4 seconds as that minion wave approached. Gonna see this one again. This was Pawn, I believe, chunking out Showmaker until he was potentially dead. No, he just had to leave. And that's why 2 turret plates went down.
Yeah, and let's just take a look at this again.
Shelly,
Flame stays here, and he has to know that Cuz is right around. He casts the World Ender, and again, to everyone watching, what he's thinking is, oh, I'll make sure my team gets the first turret down in bottom lane. Who cares, dude? Who actually cares? Congratulations. You donated more gold via the kill and the assist, and then you were unable to defend the top tier 2 turret.
And also, first turret only means an extra 100 gold, so it is not a big deal whatsoever. Canyon going to tank up actually a lot of shots here, and Deft is doing a bit more damage now that he's gone back to shop. Vision being cleared, this is more dangerous than it was on the bottom side, especially when Rascal's diving the turret. No World Ender for you, Flame. No flash. Umbral Dash isn't a great one, as Julia's here as well. Realm Warp comes in, but Julia's still sucking the life bar out of Flame. Showmaker has to get back under the turret. Rascal has the last rights for the healing, but the flash comes in. Q not going to land. Flame unable to land the knock-up. The flash from Rascal tries to turn it around, goes into the stopwatch. Julia, can you do your job? No! Not going to be able to finish off the Aatrox, but that was a damn good try.
And that was a really, really nice attempt at Rascal trying to salvage the situation, but really good by DAMWON. And Flame especially managing to get that very key and needed kill onto Rascal. Infernal Drake coming up now in 2 seconds. There's 14 seconds on Rascal. Yes, he does have teleport.
Oh, there's the engage from Tucson, though. Nuclear's just dead. They were waiting to set up a kill from Canyon, but now he just can't go in there. Tremorset spots him out. Outer turret falls down, and Kingzone seem to have all the answers.
Well, doesn't seem to matter that much right now with Nuclear going down. This is going to be yet another Infernal. I just want to check the AP on Vel'Koz. Finally, they have this highlighted. Yeah, last time it was a Braum. He got 10.
Not bad. It's only going to get better with time. Only going to get better with time.
There's a song like that, right?
It's getting better all the time.
No.
Of course, I've just got a Beatles song reference to almost anything. Enya?
Only Time?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't know all that much Enya, to be honest. I'm not a huge aficionado in the Enya tunes.
It's all right. It's quite okay. Rascal coming in here, trying to get the kill onto Flame. Showmaker being the showstopper here.
Yeah, and actually landing the Morning Mist. That's why Showmaker takes so much damage, because Julia gets super buffed. Yeah. If you actually hit that ability, this was a really nice attempt. Rascal just didn't quite have the damage to finish him off. And Julia just didn't get her act together. And smack him down. Tucson, just the engage lord. The quickness locks him down just long enough.
Oh, that death animation.
Yeah.
was really sad.
Yeah, it's actually one of the saddest, I believe. Oh no, that's because the Dragon Tamer, Tristana, is definitely the saddest death animation in the game. Actually, I love that skin, but I hate seeing it in the game unless the player never dies. Yeah, it's so sad. It's really, really sad.
What's your favorite skin?
My favorite skin?
Yeah.
I've got a few. I like the Mace of Spades Mordekaiser.
Ooh.
You know, sorry, is it like, sorry, the King of Clubs. King of Clubs.
Okay.
Mace of Spades is cute.
I like that.
Or his old Q.
I like that. I like
Mostly
Beemo.
because Mordekaiser is my favorite. What? Beemo? Oh yeah, we've had this conversation, haven't we?
Uh-oh.
Well, Flame is going to dive on forward. Worldender is there. They're going to try and dive onto Rascal as best they can. He's looking to kite away. Last Right's for a bit of a heal, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They do collapse, but what can Kingzone actually do about it? Pawn's decided that he's just going to come on in here. They're going to look to try and get some exchange kills. Flame doesn't have Worldender, and now doesn't have much of his health bar. The flash forward! Pawn is going to get in there with his ultimate, but they do lose their mid laner. Should be 2 kills to come through. As Showmaker trying to take them on a merry chase. It's a lot of damage here from the Rise. A lot of AoE as well as the Redemption does come through the flash forward, and that's the double for the Rek'Sai.
And a lot of chaos is going on right now, and with all of these kill trades, it's only going to benefit Kingzone that much more for explosiveness because of the Infernal. Every little bit of extra AD or AP just means so much more.
I thought that was a face check, but actually he just wanted to throw sticks at Canyon. Doesn't have 2 items just yet. Deft, I believe, investing in that stopwatch. Unless he took inspiration second, but I'm not entirely sure he did.
Well, at this point, DAMWON Gaming, they're trying their best to stay in the game. Right here, Julia gets tied up watching NALCS as Rascal
Oh man, she really did.
Yeah, that was tragic. Like, wait a minute, no, I have LCK,
I have LCK today. Oh no! Oh man.
Then Pawn came over.
It's that production value, man.
Yeah, that's what was really going on here. Flash to keep Showmaker locked down, but in the end, Pawn was but a mere pawn.
Aptly named.
Yep.
Aptly named. But this was Showmaker almost just killing both of them. Luckily for these guys, the Flash is back up again because
able to bring down the Rise right there.
Well, we do have 2 items here for the Tristana. Sort of out of nowhere, he does have a 20 CS advantage, and that kill from earlier on in the game means that he does have some money. And Deft, not quite with his Hurricane available just yet. So DAMWON have some opportunities to possibly fight around a Tristana that could be relatively strong, unless Tucson can once again find the engage on him. Showmaker coming in from the flank. Kingzone looking for this one, as there it is, the engage, but he's going to find Canyon, who is looking for a flank himself. Fate's Call immediately knocks him back out again. Knockups come in. Rascal is the first one to secure it, and somehow it's Nuclear that goes down in the end.
And now with Nuclear going down, that raw damage is just simply not available. The close combat champions in the Aatrox and Rise do not want to approach this Kingzone composition. It's only a 21-minute, I mean, it's a 21-minute Baron, but Kingzone are just so powerful, amplified by the double Infernals. DAMWON could just lose the game right here.
They could, and there's also a Rend. There's a lot of sticks into this Baron buff. I don't think they're going to be out of 50-50, and they're going to try and win the fight. It is going to be Deft that locks that one down. Worldender's there. Canyon does have the stopwatch with the flash from Rascal. Before he goes down, he secures the kill onto the Lee Sin, and Kingzone are tearing apart this fight. Cuz comes on back to try and take down Showmaker, who will die. Deft almost falls as well, but that one's calculated. Ladies and gentlemen, the back comes in from Hoyt. Oh, just out of vision. And the Braum makes it home, but that is a cherry on top of a cake that I don't want to eat. LS?
We'll take another quick look at it right here as Tushin able to lock up Canyon momentarily. Nuclear jumping face first into the chaos.
Tucson is so good at Rakan.
Yes.
I mean, remember, that is why he was almost our MVP leader in the past.
Probably say he's arguably the best Rakan in Korea.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely a sad time when Rakan ended up getting nerfed.
Yep.
Definitely missed out on some highlights that we could...
9.5, ladies and gentlemen, the Tucson patch. Tucson and Captain Flowers. As Captain Flowers, of course, big fan of Moscano. See Tucson on your screen right there. Kingzone faithful, the coaches feeling like they've already got this one in the bag.
Nahon is the most supportive sub.
He is literally the most
seen.
smiley human being I have ever seen in professional League of Legends.
He genuinely looks like a real sub that's, you know, like, generally when people are sub, they're like, I just want to have the main spot secretly.
Yeah, they're
like,
salty.
Yeah, they're like salty. Like, I want to be the main starting player. Nahon seems actually like it's a real team.
Yeah.
You know, as long as everyone succeeds, they succeed.
Yep. He's like, guys, I'm there if Pawn does some weird stuff again, you know? But otherwise, you guys just go and do it. Do your best. And you know what? They listened to him this game. This is the Kingzone that we wanted to see against SKT. We didn't. We saw a very different one. But this is a Kingzone that has powered up. SKT also look like a team that have been reborn. Kingzone will need to challenge them if they're going to get towards the top of the playoffs. They need to get there first, though, and this is the first step, and one of the biggest steps towards that point. They've dealt with so many teams that wanted to knock them out of playoffs. Hanwha Life already down in the second round robin. Sandbox already down in the second round robin. The only teams they've fallen to is SKT, and DAMWON Gaming looking to suffer the same fate as the majority against Kingzone second round robin. One inhibitor already down, mid lane inhibitor turret, should be short work. Showmaker trying to get the damage in, but there's Susan. Disintegration Ray, max range. The dive in on the backline. Flame's trying to get it done. A lot of knockups, but that is going to be the execution on the Lee Sin. Flame in trouble. World Ender is going to get popped. Julia's still going at it in the backline. She's so close to dying, but 95 health, that's fine. Pawn flashes forward as if he's on an assassin, and they are able to take down the second inhibitor and might just win the game right here.
Yeah, I think that they definitely have the resources to do it right here. DAMWON gonna try to fight valiantly. Oh, 68!
She's gonna be okay for now. Stopwatch there for Flame, trying to keep himself alive. Nuclear just needed one auto attack, but he spared Julia's life. And maybe that's why Kingzone backed away and gave them another chance.
Well, one Nexus turret was raised, almost the second one. They're going to turn their attention to the Clown Drake here. Yep. Dragon's coming next.
That's the priority. Allow you to run it up mid towards that last remaining Nexus turret that little bit faster.
Ocean Drake to fill the Tear of the Goddess.
There we go.
That's going to be the next Dragon of the game. As taking a look at the fight, it was a really good effort right there by Canyon to get that Dragon kick right into Showmaker. They were able to lock up Def, but Julia, Rascal, and Pawn just able to deal so much damage throughout all of this.
Yep, still 5 players alive, guys. Don't worry about it. The range damage dealer. You might think that it's Def. It's Julia. We all know that. Haven't really pointed out that Rascal did take Grasp of the Undying there as well, so it's not the Conqueror. Side lane Yorick powerhouse. Just wanted to make sure he survived in the lane for as long as possible. Canyon desperate for some popcorn chicken, but I feel like this is actually a bridge too far as Julia and friends are going to try and lock them down. Showmaker's in the baby cage. Okay, Pawn's going to throw a Super Soaker at him, but is the Rise going to be able to flash away? He is. Tucson not going to find the quickness this time. He needs to miss one, guys, because honestly, I don't think he's missed any others this entire series. It's an 8,000 gold lead, and this is Kingzone just doing their due diligence to finish this game off.
Right now, Showmaker trying his best to clear out the mid-minion wave. He has to be really careful here against the Yorick. Does actually get locked up.
Dark Procession once again going to go down. The ultimate comes forward, and look at Cuz. He launches so damn far now. As Pawn could be in trouble, but Zhonya's is available. Canyon made to look silly as the Vel'Koz does survive. Flame wanting to change that. Does get the disruption down to Pawn, but Deft able to lock in so much more damage. Okay, Canyon launches into the backline and does execute the Rakan, but it's too little too late. Flame gets knocked up and taken down as the flash is there. The Brahm's trying to escape, but I'm sorry, Santa Claus, it ain't Christmas time. And the last Nexus turret will be taken out. The Nexus to follow. 2-0 for Kingzone and a 4-0 for them against DAMWON Gaming this season.
And that was a fantastic game number 2. The team fighting was so decisive, especially in some of those last fights and skirmishes. In Kingzone, they looked stellar in game number 2.
They did, and Cuz looked unbelievable. Cuz is not a person that I'm used to talking up so much, which is why I guess I might be overdoing it with how well he played, but him playing around his solo lane so nicely, actually there to help Rascal when he was looking a little bit silly in games in the past. This time around, he's either making space for his team and they're making plays elsewhere, or he's able to get down there and help them and make those trades actually work out. For Kingzone, certainly felt like a more coordinated, more fluid Kingzone than we're used to seeing. This is normally the yo-yo team, right? It's not just Pawn. I mean, feels like everyone does join him there. I mean, Deft had his 0-6-0 Kalista game, and then before that has, I do 60% of my team's damage style games, right? Like, you can get anything out of this squad, but that man getting the high fives, Tucson, had a day out on Rakan. Feels like you can nerf that champion as many times as you want. Tucson will always play it and always make it look ridiculously strong.
And definitely a nice series for the Kalista Rakan so far, and Kingzone can feel really happy. They definitely look very strong, at least in this series. They looked fantastic. I mean, I keep feeling like I'm repeating that, but it's because it looked very different tonight.
Well, I mean, we were on the desk for Kingzone versus SKT, and honestly, it was a sad affair. It felt like Kingzone barely even showed up on that day, whereas today, they came out all fiery. And there are a lot of teams. We talk about momentum. Revenge is another thing. You know, if you've had a really bad time on the Rift, you can come out in your next series and just smash your opponent with all of that pent-up emotion. And that feels like what we just saw exerted from Kingzone DragonX, because this was a team reborn in the ashes of their extraordinary defeat at the hands of SKT.
And DAMWON Gaming, I mean, they were on a heater, which only got brought to an end by Sandbox. I mean, DAMWON,
and it was a 2-1 against Sandbox as well. That was competitive.
Exactly. So tonight, DAMWON looked a lot more vulnerable than I think I've actually seen them in recent weeks. I had done an interview with Ashley Kang.
Yeah.
And I said that I thought that DAMWON should have been a shoo-in for the third best team, but tonight's series, they definitely looked mortal.
They did, and actually Sandbox stepping up in their most recent series as well. Will be very exciting to see them against Griffin, whether they can give Griffin a run for their money like SKT did yesterday. Will be very exciting. That's in fact coming up tomorrow, guys. But 2-0 for Kingzone. Kingzone now with a very light schedule, moving towards the playoffs.
I think we get a solo MVP.
You reckon? You think Cuz gets it again? I think Tusa picks this one up for sure.
No.
No, you don't reckon?
He set up all the pressure in top lane with the double prank onto Flame.
Tusa murdered 2 people on the bottom lane when they do.
Don't care.
Okay. I'm just, just throw
he
devil's
killed
advocate.
Canyon, gave the red buff over to Pawn.
Yep.
He set up a lot more plays later on in the game.
Oh, that's true.
He got a
set
few
up
clean
on Canyon
executes.
was nice. Yep.
But really, the top lane thing, the top pressure, eventually the Herald conversion.
Yeah.
Somehow convincing Flame to stay under that turret.
That was also their win condition, so playing towards how Kingzone were going to win the game. The Yorick, definitely
I think it's
kudos to Cuz.
Unless this is a U.S. presidential election, I'm pretty sure that Cuz needs to be solo MVP award.
Just a lot of me wants it to go over to Tucson. That's what I do want.
You know what? That's a worthy.
Mostly because even in game number 1, he was absolutely fantastic. Just unfortunately, there was a 17k damage Gragas that was doing everything on the map, so you had to give it to Cuz. In that game, he also played exceptionally well. I just wanted to point out that Tucson needed some sort of recognition for how well he played, and also then backed it up again with a great performance here in this game. And felt like Deft was there purely to be a Fate's call, so that the rest of Kingzone could kill DAMWON Gaming while they tried to focus the Kalista.
Yeah, and it's not so often that you get to not see a Deft show.
Yeah, exactly. That's what made today, I think, so special, because yes, Deft played very well in game number 1, but he wasn't the sole carry. We saw that. It was the Gragas somehow. And then in game number 2, it was a very similar story. Yeah. So I felt like the Vel'Koz did a hell of a lot of damage, but a lot of the execution came down to the Yorick doing good things, Julia doing good things, and Cuz doing fantastic things in order to follow things up. But this is the play that I think gets Tucson the MVP.
Well, he does manage to lock a point right there. He keeps Canyon underneath, manages to help out with doing that. One of the things that could derive that from the MVP for me, anyway, is that Canyon really did flounder that. He was late to the party.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit more of a DAMWON flub than anything else. And this is a very dead Showmaker.
Cuz was everywhere.
He was.
Okay.
He was everywhere and nowhere.
Although, okay,
yeah,
okay.
Dude, yeah.
Tushin,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
I think he's all right. I think he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's
pretty
doing
good.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give that maybe a mastery 5.
All right.
Right here, the Baron that sealed the fate of DAMWON. They went for a 50-50, but it's not quite a 50-50 when Kalista is in the game.
No.
And they fought valiantly, but in the end, it just didn't matter. Showmaker had a lot of close calls in this game.
Tucson just solo baited it as well into just dying. As,
Another nice engage by Tushin.
I feel like we are looking at a Tucson highlight reel. Oh, but this is a Cuz highlight reel. He pressed R.
You know, a story about how he got to this point, okay? Just think about it.
I'm sorry, I'm just watching Julia's help bar.
68.
She survived, guys, don't worry.
Yeah.
She survived. And this is definitely another one from Cuz, who makes his way down, and the longest void assault that you've ever seen. Showmaker is eventually taken down. Cuz,
does it have a range once it's been cast?
Once it's been cast, it basically kills you unless you dash the majority of a screen away. Like,
you know what
like a screen and a half or
so
something.
I've seen Akali Shuriken jumps to Fountain. I've seen Vi ult into Fountain.
Yeah.
Can Rek'Sai?
I don't think so. No. It does break eventually. I mean, that was the patch note. I haven't seen it tested. I've seen it hit every single time. However, it was in the patch note that you have to dash an extreme distance. What extreme distance means, I'm not entirely sure. I think you might have to double distort to get to that point.
Moment of truth. Who's it going to be?
Not entirely sure, but it is Yorick doing a lot of damage. Showmaker as well. The Rise was a good pick, but just didn't quite work here. There were some good moments, you know, where the Rise went down, helped kill the Yorick, but it didn't stop Yorick doing the most damage on his team, and also so much more work than what the Aatrox did. Need to go back to it. This felt like a bit of a flop draft for DAMWON Gaming. They lost in 27 minutes as well.
Yeah.
One of our quicker games. Here, remember, the LCK is about 34 minutes average game time. 27 minutes is certainly a very quick one, as Cuz is going to get the back-to-back ones. I wanted the Tucson MVP. I wanted it.
They don't want another one of my rants, I guess.
He was real good. It's final. No, they've just been listening to you. Yeah, that's exactly right. Tucson, if you're watching this, man, it's LS's fault. It's LS's fault.
Cuz right here locking up Bill Gates.
Yep.
On the screen.
No more philanthropy from you, my friend.
And Showmaker doing his best, and honestly, he really did do quite well on the Rise this game. I really do have to say.
Yeah.
He was maximizing a lot of his opportunities. Just didn't really matter though. Team's so far behind. A lot of things were not really going DAMWON Gaming's way.
And that's the problem with champions that spike a little bit later, right? The game can honestly fall away from you before that time, but it didn't fall away from this man, so let's throw it over to Ji-Sun for some translation of the cousin.
Thank you very much, guys. Today we'll be having a solo interview with Cuz from Kingdom DragonX.
네, 야, 킹존이 이렇게 상체도 살아나다니 뭐 그동안도 나쁘지는 않았습니다만 오늘 더 활약이 돋보였어요. 그동안 뭐 상체에 힘을 막 주고 준비를 하셨던 건가요?
Kind of thing did you guys focus on during the practice?
올라왔다고 생각하고
I think our performance is back in form,
열심히 해서 이렇게
and we're gonna keep working hard.
감독 코치님들도
And also, I want to say thank you to all my coaching staffs.
더 잘 된 것 같아요.
So overall, our team just evolved quite a bit. Cuz and all the other Kingdom players seem really happy after the game. So speaking of game one, the competition in game one was really interesting. It was more like team fight oriented. Was that prepared one, or did you guys just ended up in that competition during the pick and bans? I think it was the latter. During the pick and ban and champ select, we were thinking of the whole competition, but throughout the ban phases, we just ended up with that kind of composition. So since we picked Yasuo, we also had Yasuo with Gragas and Rakan, so I thought that this is gonna be an easy game for us. Yeah, I want to mention about the Yasuo Gragas composition and also Gragas on your side. You had the most damage.
정글이 보통 1등하기 쉽지 않은데
It is really rare to see a jungler doing the most damage. It was really good. Does that happen a lot during the practice games also? When we're doing the Gragas Yasuo composition, yeah, sometimes I am the one with the biggest damage number. It's really impressive that you pulled that off in a competitive game. So let's check out some of the highlights. This is a replay of you using the ultimate first. How did you make that kind of decision with your combo? Well, Yasuo had ults and I also had flash. So we were actually easy to pick up kills if the opponent didn't really stay in good position. So I just threw my barrel first and then body slam flashed in. Is that your own combo? Yeah, like I like to make surprise kills, so I kind of prefer that. I'm hoping to see more of your Gragas in our upcoming series. And speaking of game 2, Pon played Vel'Koz. It was Yasuo and then Vel'Koz, so it was a little bit unexpected. Was that Pon's own idea? Yeah, same. I mean, we just ended up locking in champions during the champion select, and that was one of the Pon's champion pulls, especially the one that he's confident with. Well, does your coaching staff let you play what you want? Sometimes they do. But sometimes we just listen to them, so we all respect all of our opinions. Today, Deft and Tusin must have had a very easy game because the top side of the map was doing most of the actions. But Tusin was doing really well with Rakan, so do you guys also rely on Tusin's Rakan a lot? Well, usually junglers are the one who have to initiate or open team fight, but when Tusin is playing Rakan, yeah, it's kind of takes up the burden of my shoulder. But game 2, your Rek'Sai was so aggressive. You're always a jungler who always tries some aggressive plays, so does that connect you well, Rek'Sai? Well, I do agree that Rek'Sai is one of the most aggressive champions, and I think it's a really good champion currently. And plus, I'm really confident with Rek'Sai, so I really prefer it. I mean, I am so amazed by your outplay today, and so does the fans. So it's really amazing to see Kingzone with all 5 members performing so well, and your next opponent will be Jin, so how are you going to prepare for that? Well, since Jin got their first win recently, we shouldn't let our guards down, and we're going to prepare as hard as we can.
네, 커즈 선수에게 조곤조곤 멋진 소감
thank you very much for this interview, Cuz.
다시 한번 승리 축하드립니다.
And I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
네, 킹존의 멋진
Thank you so much, Ji-sun. And it was great to hear from Cuz there as well. So shout out to Mina, who was the one actually interviewing good old Cuz. And okay, LS. I've got something that I need to admit to everyone, because normally it is Brendan Valdez that is the man that has the very short series. And he got a 6-game banger in day 1 of this week. And today was a 4-0.
Yep.
And we swapped. So he asked me for a trade because he had something that he'd like to do. And I said, that's totally fine, man. So this is theoretically the Brendan Valdez day. So the curse is still alive, guys, because Atlas was supposed to be with you on Thursday. And instead he stepped in. So that is going to be the curse remaining. But 4-0 was not something that I was expecting. I was expecting DAMWON to put up more of a fight here against Kingzone, and as you can see now, they've moved up to 4th place, eclipsing Hanwha Life because, you know, their point margin just is not very high.
That's not at all, and I mean, as we do move on, it's still neck and neck tomorrow.
Oh, that's a big match
We got a... That's a big day.
That is a big day.
I'm trying to not get
Yeah, I know.
Right
it's hard to keep within the terms of service when explaining just how big this day is, but it is a huge one. KT and Afrika battling to try and get out of the promotion tournament, and Sandbox versus Griffin. First versus second. Sandbox the first team to take a game from Griffin until SKT were able to do so as well, but no team in 2019 has beaten the young squad. So will it be the other upstarts that have made their debut here in the LCK? Only time will tell, but not all that much of it.
We'll have to find out tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one, guys. Join myself and LS for all of the action as we kick off KST 5 p.m. But for now, good night.